Welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast, where you get to choose, change and take action to create a different today and a different future. These are my stories of choice, change and action, along with the phenomenal guests I have on here. From a really young age, I've always desired to create a change in the world. The planet has been a constant inspiration to me, and Access Consciousness has shown me the tools to know that anything is possible. And I keep choosing. What are you going to choose? So hi everybody, welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast. You're with me, your host, Simone Milasas, and today I have all the way from, I think you're in Vienna. Are you in Vienna?
Well, I'm in Austria. I'm at the Dachstein Mountains, which is a glacier.
Nice, the Dachstein Mountains. So welcome, Dr. David Kubes. You've been on my show many times. I love having you on my show, so welcome for this one.
Thank you so much for your invitation. Again and again, I love being your guest on your podcast. You know that.
Well, this invitation came up when we were in a spa together, actually. And we started having a chat, and we were in Marseille, France, which I've just come back from a 2.5 month in Europe on tour. And we took a little spa afternoon because it was hot in Marseille, and our hotel didn't have a pool. I'm like, that makes no sense to me being Australian. It's that hot and you don't have a pool outside. So we went off to another hotel. You know, you get your time by the pool, and then you get a massage, and you get to be in the spa as well. So we took ourselves off just for some relaxation in the afternoon. You know, whether we talked or not was not relevant. It was just like, let's just relax. And what we ended up talking about, because the spa part was the last part of our little package. And by the time we got to the spa part, David and I were both like so enthused about so many things, because we'd had these like little mini conversations, and then it would spark something, and it would spark something else, and it would spark something else. And during my massage, I was like, you know, I wish I had like a notebook underneath my table as I was leaning down, because I just had all of these, you know, amazing, brilliant ideas of different things that we could take action with to create a different future and a greater future, and one that matches what it is that we're asking for. So, David, and then we came up with this idea of, when you allow yourself to have that space, you create more. David, was this ever anything about how you used to function?
No. And I actually remember when you asked me, do you want to go to the spa? I was like, I'm too busy. I had so many things planned that I would do. And all this, you know, I have to look at this, I have to do this, I have to do. I was in this doing mode. And then I looked at it and I was, wait a minute, it would just be fun as well to hang out with you in the pool. So I moved everything I had planned to do. And it turned out that I got so much more done and created so much more by not doing so much. That was this aha moment where I went like, wow, now I got that relaxation doesn't mean you don't do anything. And relaxation actually allowed me to create more, because I took the pressure out of me. I just created that space where I didn't expect anything from myself but enjoy the moment. That turned out to be that space where I got so creative, without the need of doing, though.
Without the need of doing, you know. So let's look at this a little bit, because I know if someone listening to this and they're like, what are you talking about? You got more done, or you were more creative when you didn't do all those things that are on your list. Because so many of us create our lives to be super busy. I mean, my day to day has been super busy. It's been back to back, you know, and it's early evening here. And I almost went, hey, let's not do this podcast. And I was like, no, actually, I would like to do the podcast. It feels like fun to me. And it matches the energy of what it is that I would like to have in the world and create. And also, like yesterday, there was a bunch of things that I had on too. And there was this moment where I went, right, I'm done. And I'm at home at the moment, and I have lots of toys at home. And by toys, I mean I have a sauna. I have these like Normatec compression leg things that are really good for you. Like, and then I've just bought this red light therapy stuff, which I really like too. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to do a little red light therapy on my skin and just shut my eyes and listen to some stuff. And then put these, it's good for your circulation, and just be with that. And I notice if I be with myself, like just be with the energy that I'm being, then so much more shows up. And for me, it's like, you hear all these things, clear your mind. It's like you've got mind clutter, like all of this. Like meditation for me has never, ever worked. It's like meditation for me, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Because it just like there's 50 billion things that come into my mind. But when I choose something with my body and my being, that is allowing myself to relax, different world. And that could be being in a sauna or being in a spa or going for a walk or even cooking for me as well. It's like sometimes when I'm cooking and you have a glass of wine and you just like, and you're like, oh, and you have like these ideas because I am in a relaxed state of being is how I would put it for myself. And I know it doesn't make sense to a lot of people because you're not ticking a box of those things that you've decided you must do today. But what if you could come out of the doing and then walk into that space of being that you can choose? Like, and I'm going to say, take the risk, give it a shot. So, David, I've known you for quite some time too. And I know you're a lawyer, as a very successful lawyer. You've had a lot of different, clients, worldwide clients in many different industries. You still continue to have that. Plus, you have a lot of projects that you're working on with Access Consciousness. Plus, you're an Access Consciousness facilitator. Plus, you're expanding your, wealth creations as well. You've just opened up, like, I don't know, a plethora of Airbnbs in Cyprus, as one does. All of this. So, what are some of the tools that you've used in order to have that be your space?
Well, the tool that I started using and it brilliantly works is to ask universe, where is my attention required? I actually had to learn the hard way. That satisfaction you get when you work your to-do list off, when you get, oh my God, this is done, this is done, this is done. That for me created just more hard work, and that little satisfaction I got out of it just couldn't make up anymore. I literally practiced to not follow that linearity of what needs to get done, to more into where is my energy required. And it was, when I look at my business at the moment, the law firm, the facilitation business, the classes I do, the Airbnb in Cyprus, the projects, Eluga and the castle, the minute I let go of this, this needs to get done, so many
Yeah.
things, they somehow melt away or move on, and something else shows up that later on I went like, wait a minute, if I had done that, it would have been a use of time. So I actually had to practice it, and it didn't occur from one day to the other. I start practicing, really going, okay, where is my attention required? And also, you know, allow yourself to let go, and then also allow time, the time and space, and all the other people that are involved in that, in all these projects. Maybe they step in, maybe they move something. Why do I have to do everything myself? And the feedback I got
Yeah.
from the people working for me was actually, wow, it was great that you were not involved, because then we had time to do it. So it started to become this whole different way of being with all the businesses, letting go, allowing others to step up, at the same time being connected, and not kind of controlling it with linearity. So asking that, where is my attention required, and then shamelessly following that ping you got, because it's
I lo
sometimes
I love
so.
that. That's brilliant, shamelessly following it. Because, recently, I had some stuff going with my body when I was in London, and it just locked up, right? And I couldn't move. And as you know, and I started really going, wow, I need to listen to my body, or this is it. I'm not going to be able to move. So I made the demand of myself that I would really listen to my body and ask questions. And the way you said shamelessly following what shows up, I literally had the point of view, I'm going to be so bored if I don't override my body and I just follow my body, because my body felt like this like boring thing. Like it was like, no, we don't want to go and drink. No, we don't want to eat that food. No, we don't want to do this. No, like that's what it felt like to me. I had all these like, no, and then I was like, well, what is it actually saying yes to? And what is it asking me? And you could do this, like I'm talking about my body here, but you could replace this with business, okay? Because you go, the business has to. And it's like, no, what if you stopped and asked the business, like the question David gave, where is my energy required today? And it's like, so then you ask the business what it requires. So like I started asking my body, and I literally went, okay, what's the worst thing that's going to happen here? I'm going to be bored out of my mind. What's the best thing that could show up? I have no idea, but do you know what? I'm going to keep choosing this and find out. And that's the journey I am in at the moment with my body. And it's very interesting because I haven't been bored for a second. In fact, I've been so relaxed and so present with my body and noticing a lot of different possibilities showing up that are like whispers. And one of the things that you said in the spa was, when you give yourself the space, you create more.
That's what I experienced by actually shamelessly following these pings you get. And actually also in the spa, I don't know if you remember, that I actually wanted to sort out some, internal discrepancies between two staff members. This worked for me, and we have a lot of creations going on, telecalls and live classes. And not having that conversation that afternoon and going to that spa, you gave me that one question that changed it all later.
My God. And the phone goes drop. No, what was the breaking? It's a cliffhanger. I don't remember it. What question did I give you?
How to deal with staff, when two staff members go into this
Yeah.
hick and fight, and
Yeah.
you actually gave me that, oh, why didn't you call each of them individually rather than solving their problem? And the conversation was more into the detail, but it was that space where I tried to solve a problem for someone else rather than actually gifting myself the space. But by creating this space, I got that clarity what truly is required. I tend to be aware of everything that needs to get done, but I also tend to think that it is my job to solve it all, which is not true. So those moments of relaxation for me started to somehow clear up that fog that's there, and allows me to clearly see and also to perceive and to connect with these pings and where you are required with more ease. For me, this is like learning a new language. I mean, we are not trained in following our knowing or asking universe, where is my energy required? I mean, the first time I did it, I was like, oh, everywhere now. How can I duplicate myself? But I actually learned clarity.
Yeah. Because that's what most people go to when you go, where's my energy required? And they go to everywhere, and you might have family, kids, a partner or friends or work, all of it and more. And you go to the point of view of my energy is required everywhere. But that's the control part. And what would happen if we were out of control? And that's what I'm noticing. And that's what I've seen you choose too, David. And we are two of the biggest control freaks in the world. So we will gladly admit it. I mean, I was in a meeting this afternoon and someone was saying something and I went, yeah, but that's just controlling it. And I went, look, you have the awareness that it might not turn out that great, but let it be. Let's see what shows up. Like, let it be. There was this, I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember who it was. And they were interviewing these guys and they were talking about Amazon. And one of the things that they put out in Amazon is at one stage, when anyone within the company came up with an idea, the head of the companies couldn't say no. They could say no. The only way that they could say no to an idea if they wrote a 10-page thesis on why it was a no. So no one was going to do that. So they basically, their point of view was, okay, let him go. They have this idea. It's a yes from me. And even if you have the, the point of view or the awareness, you go, this is not going to work. Okay, but they gave it a shot. Is there going to be something else that shows up from choosing that? So I've been looking at that ever since, of like, if I wasn't saying no, based on the control that I would do. Go, no, that's not going to work. It's like, okay, if I wasn't saying no and I said yes, what else could show up? Like, what other possibilities are available?
That's a brilliant tool. Thank you for that. See, even when we do a podcast, we are creating. I love that because that actually allows things naturally to show up rather than
Yeah,
that because what I got is it also empowers everybody who works for you to be able to have
yeah,
ideas. And even if they are not chosen or not implemented at the end, they at least get this idea, I'm part of this.
yeah.
So that turns the business into an invitation rather than, oh, this is
Well,
controlling. If you have a good idea, then it will be rejected. Um,
yeah.
I like that. Thank you.
And then it goes to all the judgment that people have of themselves, of like, they don't get me, I'm not heard, so I'll just shut up or do all of this. And it's like, none of that needs to exist. So there was something that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, said to me. It was probably about 3 years ago now. And he said, Simone, you've managed to change the world by controlling the schedule. Because I would be a major part of doing the schedule for Gary and Dane and, myself or whoever, but it was mainly Gary and Dane for years. And he said, you've managed to change the world by controlling the schedule. Now, what if you just change the world? And I was like, wow. Now, if you listen to that and perceive that energy, there's a whole lot of relaxation in that. And it's funny, it was a schedule meeting that I was on before, and I went, let it go. Like, let's see what shows up.
When I heard this story, I was actually fascinated by the idea of letting go and not controlling, but still not disconnecting. And that's probably what most people are afraid of. If you let
Yes.
go, you withdraw, you disconnect, and then it goes downhill. So
Thank you.
asking you now, how do you let go and still stay connected and present? And how is not controlling and being present different?
Yeah. Okay. So thank you. And that is a great awareness with that. So first of all, I just want to just do this. How many of you have misidentified and misapplied relaxation as disconnecting from your life, living, family, friends, business, money, and everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, provids, and beyonds. Now, if you let's just do a little thing here, like and indulge in this energy. So, what I want all of you to do is pick something, like pick a project, pick business or money. It's like, or a relationship or anything like that. Now, I want you to pick something and I want you to focus on it and look at, okay, what have I got to do today? What have I got to do with this? What have I got to tick off the box so I can go, yes, and this is good, and just focus on it. What does this require? And focus on that one thing, okay? That project, business, your money flows, that relationship, whatever it is for you. Now, that's the way most people live their lives. Now, destroy and uncreate everything that is, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, provids, and beyonds. And that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. You can find out more at theclearingstatement.com. And we'll have it in the show notes, so don't forget to subscribe. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to put your attention on your life. And if you want, shut your eyes. If you're driving, don't. And it's like on your business, on your money, just lightly. It's almost like you're just lightly putting your hands on them, on your business, your money, your relationships, your friendships, your any projects that you've got going on. It's like your partners, your animals, the earth. Don't forget your body. And just gently like, boop, like just tap all of those different things that you have in your life. Okay. Maybe you do like 3 or 4 different sports. And it's like, put your attention on it. Now I want you to expand out, not from your body is here. I want you, the being, to expand out at least 100,000 kilometers. And if you live in America, just do 100,000 miles. Expand out, right? Now I want you to ask the question that David was asking. Where is your energy required today? And everything it doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive where your energy is required, will you destroy and uncreate it? And everywhere you are avoiding the ease of how your life could be. destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. Now, when I asked you that question, if you're listening to this, it's like, did you have something that showed up? Like, David, did you have like one or two? I mean, you could have 10 things that showed up. 10 things could require your energy, or it could just be one. Like, what popped for you? Did anything in particular pop for you, David? I mean, it could be like, oh, I'm going to make a coffee, because your body's going, hey, I'd like a coffee,
That was actually beautiful. That connecting to everything. What actually popped for me with my body.
Yeah. So then what's your, but then the thing that we tend to do, David, is then we dismiss it and go, oh, but hang on, work's starting. Like, I've got to make phone calls. I've got to do this, or that's not making money. But your body's like, hey, what about me? So then if you look at that and go, okay, what would your body like? What's your body asking for right now?
My body wants to be taken out for a walk in this intense, beautiful forest that is next to me. I wanted to jump in the car and drive back to Vienna after this podcast, but I think I'll just take my body for a walk and just drive an hour later or whatever. I'll know when I get back.
That makes my body smile. Yeah. But I mean, we're laughing, and it's like, how is that going to end up? How is it going to show up? You have no idea. But if you do what David was suggesting before too, like shamelessly following the energy, you have no idea what this looks like. You may miss a car accident. It's like you may meet the man of your dreams in the forest. It's like, or you might find, I don't know, some beautiful flowers that you pick and they contribute to you for the next few days. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. That if you start giving yourself that space and that relaxation, then creation will be off the charts.
Oh, yes. Thank you for that. I almost forgot about it because as we record this, it's like Monday morning in Austria, and it's all this intensity of everyone starting a new day in their that Monday morning energy. But I think I just got that none of that was actually mine. So that's another second tool to just be aware of. Am I aware of the insanity that goes on around me, or is that actually mine? That's another tool that truly contributed to me choosing way more of how I function with my creativity. I found out that creativity has no office hours just because it's Monday 9 a.m. I
Oh, I
don't
love
have
that.
to be in the office.
Has no office hours. I love that. Because do you know how many times people used to say to me, it's a weekend, I hope you're taking some time off, or, I hope you get to have a holiday, or you get to have some time to yourself. And I was always be like, time off from what? Like, I love what I'm doing. And it's not like I don't know. I mean, I've just spent 2.5 months in Europe. It's like, I spent time in the south of France and the south of Italy. It's like London, one of my favorite cities in the world. It's like seeing, some of my friends, including you, David, like, and having a fabulous time, drinking some great wines, eating some great foods, like walking in some different areas. So I have to take time off from what? My life? My life is awesome. I was just saying to you before we went live, there's somebody who is just being an asshole basically in my life, and I got angry for like 30-60 seconds, and I sort of, but and here's the thing, if that shows up, it's like I got angry and I indulged in it. I wasn't trying to stop being angry. I was like angry, but then after like 60 seconds I calmed down and I went, you know what, this person is not going to, I'm not giving them the satisfaction of me being angry, because I'm actually not. I am so grateful I get to be me. Really grateful that I get to be me, and I can choose anything. And I choose not to be angry with this. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's silly what this person is doing. And it's like, okay, but I'm still me. I still get to be me.
And that was such a beautiful contribution, this not giving anyone the satisfaction of your anger. So many people,
No.
they just want to make angry, and then that's their intention. They know they can't contribute, they know they won't get anywhere, but that's their last resort. Well, then let me just poke her and make her really angry so she has a miserable day. And when you said that, I was like, wow. I got like 5 to 10 situations where I did
Yeah.
give my anger as their satisfaction. So that's a brilliant tool
Yeah.
as well. Anger
Yeah.
doesn't.
Well, I rang David before the podcast because he's like my lawyer that I like, and I always say, David, I said, can you help me? And he was like, sure. And I was like, this just happened, and it was like 10-15 seconds of talking to you, and I went, oh, and I started to calm down, and I went, hey, thank you. It just helped for me to say this out loud. And I knew that you would look at it from a lawyer angle. And somebody else had said to me, and I told you, they're just like Germany. They're trying to take you out on the way down, but they're done. I was like, good point. But it's like, you know what? I get to wake up tomorrow morning, and I get to wake up as me, and I'm so happy that I am me, and I choose what I choose. Yeah, and I will not give anyone the satisfaction of being able to make me angry like that. It doesn't work. So,
and that's
more
probably
relaxation.
it's probably another great way to relax. Relaxation doesn't mean you have to go to a spa or meditate or just walk in the forest. I just got not being angry already creates an incredible level of relaxation that, no, I'm not giving you that joy or satisfaction of me being angry. That alone creates relaxation. So, wow, I just got this, that not being angry already is relaxation. So
Yeah.
I'll have more of that.
But also indulging in it. Like I was angry,
Yeah.
but I didn't judge it either. And I was like, I will be angry. Like if you want to choose anger, choose it. But what I've noticed is over the years, using access consciousness tools, it's like, if I choose to be angry, it doesn't last very long. And then you're like, oh, this is a little exhausting. I'd rather actually like choose some relaxation and then ask a question. Okay, so what can I do with this right now? Nothing. I've got to wait until, blah, 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 because it's dealing very much with this reality. Okay, cool. I can do that. But I'm not going to be angry for the next few days. I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to create like a motherfucker. Like, really, let's go.
Oh my
Nobody's
God.
stopping. Yeah.
That's why I so adore hanging out with you. You just, whatever shows up.
Well, I love hanging out with you. So
And I want to meet you
we
in South
actually have a class. Well, we have a class coming up. Actually, it's not for a little while because we've got a few things. We're traveling to South America together. We are. My next trip, I'll be going to first Texas for a class I'm doing with Gary, Douglas, and Dane here called 9 Trannies. And then we fly to Brazil, which is one of my favorite places. And I'm doing a choice for possibilities. David's also doing a class there, and then Bogota, and there's a whole lot going on. But you and I are actually facilitating a class together at the castle in Italy. It'll be a little chillier by then because it will be in November, and it's called Choice for Wealth. It's the first time I've facilitated this class, and first time I've co-facilitated a class with you with this, obviously. I was thinking first time. No. We've got a class going on at the moment about tax, which is one of our favorite
Yes.
topics. So in order to go to Choice for Wealth, you do have to do Right Riches Beginners. Okay. So I have one of those classes coming up. I'm pretty sure. Do you have one coming up before then?
Yes, the one in Brazil is a Right Riches class.
Oh, it's a Right Riches one there. Okay, cool. Excellent. So the Brazilians can go there. I'm sure you can come online as well. So there's lots of stuff happening. But David and I'm going to speak on your behalf because we've been friends for a while now. We create a lot together. We're involved in a lot of similar projects. We've seen each other go through stuff. And I mean, when I say go through stuff, like hitting our head against a brick wall and then going, okay, what can I do to change this, and changing it and coming out greater on the other side. And I'm really grateful. I've always felt like you've totally had my back, David, in whatever, shit that I've gone through, and same. And we're so encouraging to each other to have more and be more and create more. So for me, I'm really looking forward to the Choice for Wealth class because it's never ending. There's not this end game with this. It just continues and continues and continues.
And this is the inspiration that you are to my life. This ongoing continuation. No matter what shows up, no matter how dark it seems to be or uncomfortable, you just switch it over, turn it around, change what needs to be changed, and keep going. I've never seen that anything ever actually got close to stopping you. You went through, and every time some greater creation showed up at the end. And this is, thank you for being this inspiration, an invitation, because you share all that, and you invite so many people to that, I would say, that positive or happy point of view you have about life.
Thank
No matter
you. And thank you. I'm really grateful because it's, I mean, I have like a handful of people, or maybe just over a handful of people that do share the moments of my life that I'm like, okay, time to open up a bottle of wine. Let's have a drink. What am I going to do with this? But not to, just to go, okay, what next? Like, how do we navigate this? And it's like, life doesn't always wake up every day and there's, unicorns and rainbows. Sometimes there's like shit at your front doorstep, but how are you going to handle it? You can keep stepping aside it. You can ignore it. You can avoid it. You can complain about it, or you can go, okay, what choices do I have here? And you always have a different choice. And, have I cried? Yeah. Have I gotten angry? Yeah. Have I, drank a bottle of wine with friends over what the fuck am I going to do with this? Yeah, sure. But you know what? We all have shit go on. And for me, the mantra of access consciousness, all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory, is gold. I have used that so often, because it's not like all of life comes to me with, working out every day and every day is fine and bright and shiny. It's like, no, sometimes there's some stuff you got to dig deep. And it's like, okay, what choice do I have here? So all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. It's like the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's like you and your choices can be different. What's that?
And the uncomfortable. That is your inspiration to, you're being it. You go through the uncomfortable, and you know. And if you don't know, well, you take yourself to the next question, to the next, whatever you do,
or the next person.
Yeah, you showed me how to be with the good, the bad, the ugly, and the uncomfortable. And then there is always a different possibility. You just have to keep choosing. Just have to be going. And every time I see you, you shine brighter, you look younger, and we always create more. So thank you for this inspiration.
You. Same with you, David. And I look forward to seeing you soon. I think the next stop is Texas that I see you.
Yes.
But I want to say thank you so much for being on here. And if you download our show notes, you'll get to see all of the classes that David was mentioning, and myself, and where you can find David, etc. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and the show notes, because we are no longer sending an email out weekly about this. We might start sending an email out every month. So it's up to you to subscribe. Tell people about it. You can join us on Instagram. We have a Choice, Change, and Action Instagram page as well. And, we'll have more information on there. But just thank you. And thank you for your feedback. If you've got anything you'd like me to have a look at, talk about, slide into our DMs and ask me. And if we can, I'll have a look at it. We'll cover it, whatever. So thank you so much, David, for being here. It's always a pleasure. I hope you really enjoyed that walk in the woods. Can you take a photo and send it?
I will. And thank you so much for having me as your guest again.
Thanks, David. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform to get notified of new episodes. We read all the reviews, so if there's any topic you would like to hear about, let us know. If you'd like to know more about the tools, information, and classes mentioned in the podcast, head on over to SimoneMilasas.com and follow me on Instagram at Simone Milasas, or the podcast has its very own link on Instagram at Choice, Change, and Action. Don't forget, you can download the show notes. And lastly, have way too much fun today.